The Fake Baseball Podcast is brought to you by Moonshots MLB. Whether season-long DFS or wagering is your thing, Moonshots MLB has the tools and content to help you succeed. All in one place and an easy-to-navigate, clean user interface. Basic stats combined with enriched StatCast data provide you a unique and fun experience. Weekly projections and weekly schedule to spot matchups for your start-sit decisions for the season-long players. DraftKings and FanDuel projections and optimizer for the DFSers. Wagering, got that too. A full odds board with game lines and player props for multiple markets and sportsbooks featuring calculated ROI and so much more. If Moonshots MLB isn't part of your fantasy DFS or wagering process, you are missing out. Be a part of a growing and exciting community. Follow them on X at Moonshots MLB for more information. Moonshots MLB, more than just your average launch angle. What is up, everybody? It is the Fake Baseball Podcast. We are here on a Friday, coming to you guys right as baseball games have started. I think there's a 15-game slate today. It is Blake Meyer, as always, here with my man Dylan Lydell. How you doing today, Dylan?
Man, as you can tell, I'm in a little bit of a different window today. My laptop, I guess, decided to hit the weekend early itself. I'm on my phone today. Sorry if there's any audio differences and anything like that, but it'll survive. It'll last. It'll get us through the next 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll survive. Your audio sounds just fine. I can hear you good. Okay. And I mean,
cool.
We'll clean it up on the back end too if we need to. And I just want to say right now,
does that sound better now?
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay. All right. I just changed my mic setting on my phone to see if it made any difference. All right. Roll with it.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, we're also brought to you by our Patreon. Make sure you guys go check out our Patreon, patreon.com/the Fake Baseball Podcast. We have written content as well as bonus episodes up on there. It's only $5 a month. That is cheaper than you guys spend on your cup of coffee in the morning on your way to work. And it goes a long way to helping us out. And if you're watching this live, if you could hit the like button, subscribe, follow, whatever it is, just hit the little like button. It might not seem like much to you, but that actually goes a long way towards helping us build this as well. But we want to get right into it with some of the biggest risers in value currently in the fantasy baseball world. There's a lot of names out there that we could cover because obviously it's still early, so values of players are constantly ever changing. But one that I want to start with because I've been thinking about him a lot lately. I mean that in a very non-weird way. If you guys read my weekly waiver wire article for Fantasy Pros that comes out every Sunday, you guys are going to get a little sneak peek right now because it's probably going to be the first person that I put on there in the outfield category. It would be Edward Olivares for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I don't know what it is. I just love this guy, whether it's a points league or a category league. I swear every time you check a box score for a Pirates game, he's just tattooing a baseball over 100 miles an hour. Right now, he's got a 23% barrel rate and a 65% sweet spot rate, which is, I believe, is the best in all of baseball. Just absurd. And his expected batting average right now is 438. Yeah. Expected batting average 438. Expected slugging 741.
100%.
But he's only got a barrel rate of 87.9 miles an hour.
Hitting them where they ain't.
The biggest thing for me, he really is. And one thing I've paid more attention to lately, more than ever, which is probably a fault of my own, is 90th percentile exit velocity is something that I think needs to be paid a lot more attention to in baseball. It is it's the tool that predicts power the best, I guess is the best way to put it. It takes the average exit velocity of all of their hits in their 90th percentile and spits that out. Right now the league average 90th percentile average exit velocity is 104.9 miles an hour. Edward Olivares is at 105.5 miles an hour. Anything above that league average is always nice to see. and he's pulling a good amount of fly balls. He's pulling 8.7% of his contact for pulled fly balls. There's a lot to love there. Dylan, has he been on your radar much lately, or how are you feeling about Olivares right now?
No, like he's not a name I've paid close attention to. Granted, Pittsburgh's not the best team in the world, but there are other couple names to be excited about, like Brian Reynolds, like Brian Hayes, O'Neal Cruz. Um, there's a lot of guys that are, I guess, or I guess the best way for me to put it is I've been looking at other players on the Pirates over him and overlooking Oliveris a little bit, but I mean the numbers don't lie. He's a 260, 270, 280 hitter, something like that. He's in that range. He's an above average hitter. He's got the pop to do 10, 15 home runs, get you 15 stolen bases as well. Good outfield, hits the ball hard. Yeah, I don't know, and I mean, not hits the ball hard. I should say he's a good hitter, just hits them where they ain't, and then goes from there. Yeah, I mean, off the waivers, obviously, this would be a really good pickup in the first couple weeks or so month. You on Blake there, mute or mute there, Blake? Can I hear you? There you go.
It was my
I
turn to do
gotcha.
it. Damn it, I had to
I
take the
gotcha.
cat out. The
You're
cat
all
always
right.
wants to be in the room when I'm recording until I start, and then it wants to make a bunch of noise and be out. But yeah, Olivares is rostered in, I believe, less than 10% of like ESPN leagues. He's not very
Mhm.
widely rostered. And he's more one of those like boring guys, kind of, I guess. Like he's not putting up crazy numbers. Last year in 100 games, 107 games, he hit 12 home runs, stole 11 bases. Love to see
Steven
it.
Kwan with
He also
more
had
pop.
23 doubles in that time frame. More pop, a little more speed too. Because he doesn't strike out. He's only got a
Yeah,
17.5% strikeout rate this year. That's great. He's got an 88% zone contact rate. Also great. We talked about it before. Anything 80% or above, give me that. Like that's a
right.
good number. So there's a ton to like there when it comes to Olivares, and he's just getting overlooked because, like you had mentioned, you're looking more at other Pirates that are currently on that roster, maybe like an O'Neal Cruz, Henry Davis, the Jack Sawinski, guys like
Henry
that.
Davis, another one.
He
Yeah,
does get overlooked. Yeah. I think Olivares needs to be. He needs more attention paid to him. He's not really getting platooned. He hits just as good against righties and lefties. So yeah, there's a lot to like there. And I like Olivares in every format. Probably a 12-team or deeper league and a 10-team league. You don't need Olivares on your team, but 12-team or deeper, especially 5 outfield leagues, you can easily find a spot for Olivares on your roster. There's room. He'll play, and he'll put up good numbers too. This isn't even like a ride him while he's hot type deal. I think he's just going to be good for a while. Because again, 107 games last year, he had 39 extra base hits in 107 games while stealing 11 bases. That plays. Like
right.
that's really good. So keep an eye on him. He's playing his ass off in Pittsburgh, and he's worth your consideration. But I
Got
think we
one
gotta
thing to
we
say.
gotta
Yeah,
swing
I
to the
got one.
big boy of the episode now.
Nice shirt, by the way.
Hit me
I
with it.
like that. I just noticed it. I'm in a
Pitching Ninja,
different
baby.
little.
Pitching Ninja,
Yeah, it's
baby.
very small on my screen, but I just now noticed it and I had to say something.
Yeah, I went with the. If you guys are listening on the audio, I went with a little different camera angle today. You can see a little bit of my body. What's up? But I always wear cool shirts on the podcast, but nobody ever gets to see them because I had the shoulders up camera angle all the time. So today I was like, you know what? Let me fix the camera angle a little bit. Let me show the wardrobe off just a tiny bit. Shout out Pitching Ninja and RotoWire for these, or RotoWare, excuse me, for these cool ass shirts. But speaking of cool ass stuff, last night Colton Cowser hit his very first MLB home run. It
Yeah,
was an Apo Taco shot over the green monster, and some dude on Twitter told me that it's actually not that hard to do, which is still living rent free in my head. Um, so Colton Cowser is kind of the big boy of this episode. If there's anybody right now that is
right.
rising up boards, the fastest, it's Colton Cowser. We talked about him before the season. He played his ass off in spring training. he was platooned early for Austin Hayes, which I get, but I don't get. And he's just killing it. He's already 1-for-1 with a double today. So in how many games is that? This will be game 12. Very limited plate appearances. 27 plate appearances. He has 6 doubles, 2 home runs, and 11 RBI. It's insane, man. So I got 2 questions for you. One, how many shares of Cowser do you have this year? And 2, do you think is he on like a Gunnar Henderson style trajectory right now?
I don't know. Gunnar Henderson's the right way to go because he can steal bases. I'm trying to think of a more of a slugger type. Like I don't remember the start that Jordan Alvarez got off to, but big lefty. He's just automatically the first name that comes to mind. How did Rafael Devers start? Although he's a third baseman. Um, Guys like
Yeah.
that, that just flash their bat a little bit more and not in other ways, kind of like Gunner does. He does a lot
Yeah.
of a little bit of everything. I don't know if Colton does that. Um, but yeah, I don't know who does he kind of remind you of right now? Because I feel like I kind of sold him a little bit lightly the last time we talked about him. I can't remember when that was now, but yeah, no, he's a dude. He's really good.
Yeah, I think last time we talked about Colton Cowser, we were talking about him and Kobe Mayo, and I think you were more on the Kobe Mayo train than the Cowser train, which is,
No, it
I
was
mean,
just
warranted. Kobe Mayo is batting like 400.
I remember being more of a Cowser guy back in spring training. I remember we were talking about him. I don't remember if it was the private episode that we did for Patreon or the earlier episode during the week, but we brought him up for
Oh.
can't remember what it was. But I was just saying my words were kind of like I'm not sure, but I can say that I was wrong. He's fucking nice. He's a dude.
Hey, that's
I
a
could
good
be
look
wrong,
back
but
too. If
I
you guys
just
want to hear what Dylan had to say
yeah.
about Colton Cowser previously, go
Mhm.
back to previous episodes and go check out the Patreon, patreon.com/the fake baseball podcast. You can see that up there. That first Patreon episode, by the way, everybody, is free. Everybody can go watch it. It is up there right now. We recorded it. I uploaded it. It's there, baby. It's there. Go check it out. But yeah, I think Cowser really just needed a time, I guess is a good way to put it. I don't remember who said it first. I think it was Eric Samolsky for NBC Sports. Said to remember that prospect growth is not linear. Just because Gunnar
Right.
Henderson and Adley Rutschman came in and balled out in their first stint doesn't mean every prospect has to do that. Some guys take a little time and they get better. And wouldn't you know it, Cowser's gotten better. Like he's playing his ass off. And one of the biggest things he struggled with was the ability to hit lefties previously. Now, he hasn't hit off a lefty this year. He's only had 3 plate appearances against a lefty, but he was hitting lefty homers in spring training, which is big. It's one thing to be able to hit lefties. It's another thing to be able to hit lefties for power as a left-handed guy. And Cowser seems to have, at least in the spring, he tweaked it enough to be able to do that. Another guy that did that is Will Benson for Cincinnati. He really worked on being able to hit lefties.
Yes, he's having a
That's a
real
big
nice
call.
start too. Mhm. Yeah, well, he's getting some bags too. I know I have him in our little roto league. Um, he's off to a real good start.
There we go. Who?
Will Benson.
Benson?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I picked him up this week in our home league that me and you were playing against each other in. And I just want to say Ranger
I didn't
Suarez
check
saved
that.
my ass yesterday.
Yeah, he made Hunter Brown a wash. How
uh,
about that? That was some oh
that was crazy. Hunter Brown, if you guys didn't know, obviously everybody should know by this, but if you don't, it's cool. Hunter Brown had like the worst
start ever.
I think
Damn
you
near,
can call
right?
it the
Like
worst start in Major League Baseball history. because I think it really was.
Yeah.
It's the most runs ever given up without getting out of the first inning in Major League Baseball history, which is crazy, man.
To the Royals.
And he got me like negative 31 points in our home points league, and then Ranger Suarez come out and got me 28 points yesterday. So it's a
Ridiculous.
wash. I'm back on top. Love to see it. Oh, and I just want to point out, Matthew pointed out Christian Scott for the Mets in AAA.
Mm.
Everybody needs to be on him. Pause. Massive strikeout guy, like elite level strikeout guy in the minor leagues, and the Mets are running out a starting rotation that is just not. I mean, it's not good. Like Luis Severino is okay, but they are running out Jose Quintana. Actually, when I say his name, Jose Quintana is fairly underrated. He doesn't give up many home runs at all, which is cool. But he's just not great. But they're starting Jose Buto, who
Yeah.
1.5 ERA so far. He's just not a very good pitcher. Like Christian Scott, there's not anybody blocking his path. It's just a matter of how long do the Mets feel like waiting before he gets called up. And I mean, he's worth an add in deeper leagues. Again, 10-teamer, probably don't add him. I added him in our home league this morning. Yesterday. I added him yesterday. I don't know if I dropped him. I might have. So if I had, you're welcome, Dylan. I think you're higher on the waiver priority wire than me. So you can go ahead and check him out. But as far as risers go, the next one, I think, Dylan, you picked this one out. Who's the one that you texted me about before this?
Yeah, Jose Caballero, man. And I just had a gut feeling that as soon as I saw he was going to the Rays, that they're just gonna figure him out. Off to a real good start, hitting 351, hit his first home run a couple days ago in Anaheim, 5 stolen bases, and playing a good defense like always too. He's manning down short right now. Um, he's I mean striking out at 22% right now. That's not horrible. I just had to move my phone out of the way so I can see the numbers here. But expecting batting average all the way up to 320. Um, Launch angles at 14 degrees. Slow, a little bit lower than last year. He was popping a lot up last year, so good to see that change. Not surprised. Tampa does a good
Mm-hmm.
job with all that. Um, yeah, I mean, just a good start. It just sucks to see all these ex-Mariners, literally every single one of them off to good starts, but him especially, I just have come to notice. I would say he's the most surprising if anybody is yeah, off to a good start as well.
I actually had somebody message me today and ask me if I thought Jose Caballero was worth a pickup in a 12 team. I had a hard time saying no. I mean, I think like me and you have a little better feel on Jose Caballero just because we
Yeah.
got to watch him last year with Seattle. I think he's a fun player, like fun baseball player. Fantasy baseball wise, I don't know how fun he is, but like just baseball in general, I loved last year when he was just a menace to Garrett Cole, just
Mhm.
messing with the pitch clock like to his advantage as much as humanly possible to mess with Garrett Cole's timing, living rent free in his head. I loved that. I loved 26 stolen bases in 104 games last year. He stole 26 out of 29 attempts last year. That's really good. He's already got 5 and
He's
7
savvy,
attempts
man.
this year. He is. He's just a hitter. I thought he was just going to be like a short term addition for them, just to fill the gap until like Junior Caminero got called
Yeah.
up, which is probably what the plan was. But then Junior Caminero got hurt, and so Cabby's having to fill in for even longer. I like adding Caballero this year. He is leaning into a lot more of his strengths. Already got 0.7 WAR in just 11 games. Wild. Would have never thought Cabby could do that. 169 WRC plus, including today's game, where he is 1-for-1 currently. Great in a categories league and in a points league. Love the extra base hit, like the doubles, triples ability, and the stolen is only striking out 22% of the time. Yes, I do think there is some viability with Cabby. Just be careful.
Yeah.
Last year, if you followed the career of Jose Caballero, He was real good there in the beginning. The wheels fell off very quickly. He hit one or what? Excuse me. He hit 150 in just 8 games in March and April last year. It doesn't really matter. 273 in May, 236 in June, but then he hit 179, 256, and he ended out the year hitting 130. He hit just 200 in the second half with 11 stolen bases and 5 total extra base hits. So he's the type of player. Jose Caballero is the type of player that when it goes bad, it's gonna go bad. But while it's going good, it's gonna go really choice
Yeah.
for somebody, especially going into this weekend. They have a pretty favorable matchup this weekend. I don't remember who they're playing, but they have a pretty favorable matchup. He should play pretty good out there.
They're playing San Fran.
And then somebody else I want to cover. Yeah, I think that ballpark fits his game very well. So he should play really good out there. And I talked about how Olivares could be going back to Olivares real quick, a little sneak peek at my Fantasy Pros waiver wire article. My weekly planner article for Fantasy Pros came out today. I didn't share it on social media yet. I'm not exactly sure why. I think I just forgot. That's on me. But it's up on Fantasy Pros where I look ahead at the games in the following week, see what's going on, highlight the guys and teams that I like and don't like. You know who I like for next week? Okay, so the 2 teams that I like for next week, one of them, Seattle Mariners. I love the Mariners next week, dude. They got a pretty
Tell me
good
why, man.
early week schedule. But the end of next week, they end the week with 3 games in Colorado.
Yeah.
Colorado is terrible. Colorado they're terrible on the road and at home. Coors Field is a hitter-friendly park if I have ever seen one. And if there was ever a time that this Mariners team needed like a get-right game or a get-right series, it is now. And I
Right.
think that's going to
Yeah.
come at the perfect time. And the dude that I'm really loving for that series, Mr. Canzone, Mr. A.
Yeah.
I
I did
think
see you
Dom
shout him
goes
out. Yeah.
stupid.
Okay.
I think Dom goes stupid in that Colorado series. They are going against and they start the week against Cincinnati. So Cincinnati's throwing out 3 righties. Dom's a lefty. He's going to start all of those games in left field, which would be cool. But Dom's playing well lately. He's got 5 hits, 2 home runs, and a double in his last 3 starts with a 16% barrel rate and a 47% hard hit rate, which is great. For as bad as he's been defensively, he's kind of coming around offensively and being able to face 3 righties from Cincinnati who Hunter Green's cool, but he gives up a lot of home runs. Frankie
Yeah.
Montas, you can look at his
I
stats,
want
but
to
he's not
believe
that
in Hunter
special.
so bad. He just lets me down
I
so
do
many
too. It's just
times, yet again and
so
again.
many home runs.
Yeah.
Shout out allergies.
There we go.
I'm
And we're back.
dying
We're
today.
back.
So you guys are getting a treat on the live stream right now. We're back, baby. Yeah, I love Domi next week. Dominic Canzone. There's a lot of hype there. I don't know if I like him long term over the course of the season. We're going to get a string of 2 straight series for Canzone to be successful. It's going to be against an all right-handed Cincinnati rotation and then in Coors Field. So shout out Canzone. Keep an eye on him. And then the other team I like. So there's only 3 teams next week that play either all on the road or all at home. Out of all 30 teams, there's only 3. Everybody else is split, half home, half away. The Dodgers are the only team in next week, week 4, that play all of their games at home, which I think in and of itself is an advantage right there. And then you add in the fact that all of those home games are against the Washington Nationals and the New York Mets.
Yeah.
Weak right there. They're facing the Mets. They're going to face Manaya's been okay. Strikeouts are there, but he can get tattooed. We already talked about Jose Buto. And then Adrian Hauser, who's just bad. And then for Washington doesn't even have a projected starter yet for Monday. So they're probably going to face a AAA guy or an opener. And then Patrick Corbin and Jake Irvin, who combined have given up 22 runs in 27
that's right.
innings.
I mean, Josiah Gray was bad, but he
Targeting the
went down
Dodgers
too, didn't he?
next week. Yep, elbow.
Oh, jeez.
And I think Josiah Gray has my favorite release in baseball of a pitcher, of a starter. He's got that crazy, like he bends his knees like way down to the ground and
Yeah,
generates
I
a lot
actually
of
wanted to
power.
see that.
I like it. I mean, it doesn't
What's
really
his
result
extension?
in anything good, but it looks good. I think he has decent extension.
Yeah, he has to.
Oh, and from the Dodgers next week, I like James Outman.
There
I
you
like
go.
James Outman. Target James Outman next week if you can. He's going to feast in those lineups against the shitty pitching. He loves hitting at home. There's going to be at bats for him there. And I like that he's got the power speed combo too, which is cool. He had 4 hits in that last Twin series, 3 games. He had 2 home runs in those 4 hits too, which is cool. So Outman's coming around as well, and he's been kind of overlooked. I don't see too many people mentioning James Outman much, but he is somebody that everybody should be paying attention right now.
Oh, wow.
And the last one that I think is my page for my cool stats. The last one
Yeah. Horrible
that I
extension for
have.
Josiah Gray, actually. Sorry. I just was curious and
Does he
didn't know.
really?
Horrible extension. Horrible.
What is it?
Uh,
Is it like 5 feet?
bad. Yeah, I mean, it's hovering like 5.5, 6 feet. Like, that's bad.
Oh yeah, that's not good. That's not good. For those listening, like 6, 7 feet, you are Pablo Lopez level extension, which is just insane. That's what you
You should
hope to get out
you
of a
should at
pitcher, but it doesn't typically
least
happen.
good rule of thumb, honestly, you should at least be getting your height plus some. Like, ideally, start with your height and then work off of that.
There we go.
Like, that's a good rule of thumb. Like, Logan Gilbert, he should just right. I mean, I bet you if I look I know he's got great extension, but that's a good example of, like, get down the mound voice.
Oh yeah, he's like in 97th percentile range, I believe. Logan Gilbert is. He's flirting with that
Yeah.
7 foot,
I don't yeah.
7 foot extension.
Yeah, I don't even have to look that up
Oh,
to know
and we
that's true.
forgot one riser.
Yep.
We forgot one
I
riser
was
that I
waiting on
wanted to
it.
mention. He's knocking on the devil's door. James Wood. Again, another name we've brought up a couple times on the podcast here. Dude, he was killing it in spring training this year. It felt like it was only a matter of time before he got called up because he is of that Ellie De La Cruz, O'Neal Cruz build. I mean, he's only 21. He's
Very large.
6'7", 234, which
Mhm.
is crazy. Very large. And in spring training, he hit 364 with 4 dingers and scored 13 runs and also stole 3 bases. Last year, in Double-A, he hit 18 home runs, stole 10 bases in just 87 games. And then this year, at Triple-A, I don't even know how to put in words. 43 plate appearances. He's hitting 441. He's slashing over 1,300 with 8 extra base hits, including 2 home runs, stole a couple bases. He has a 21% walk rate, only a 16% strikeout rate,
Yeah,
and a
walking when you're walking
63% hard
more
hit
than you're
rate.
striking out, man, that's a good thing. That's crazy. And that was the big thing with Wood was the strikeout concern. Like, and he slashed that in half and then walked the or
Mm-hmm.
brought the walks up, like doubled. Really good start.
Yeah. And I mean, the only person stopping him from playing right now is what, like Victor Robles?
Yeah, and that's
No
got
offense to the
nobody.
Nationals or Victor Robles, but if it's me, I'd much rather have
Jesse
James Wood
Winker.
starting in the outfield. Yeah, like they put him out there with Lane Thomas. He's actually playing pretty good this year. I can't really talk shit. He, he's having a pretty good year. He's one of the league leaders in walk rate. He's the Jesse Winker that Mariners fans hoped they would get. Instead, we got the double
Hmm.
finger to the Angels fans and never do something again after that version of him, which
Yeah.
sucked, the crybaby version of him. But yeah, that's who is blocking the path of James Wood. So if you're the type that likes to grab prospects before they get a chance to get called up and you're looking for somebody, you can add James Wood now. Again, it's got to be a deeper league. Don't drop somebody of real value at this exact moment for it because it's still early in the year. So if you're dropping somebody, it means you're giving up on somebody that you already thought was going to be good to begin with. So, but if you have just like injury issues or whatever, and you want to add somebody, James Wood might be the stash now that is going to help you later.
I got one question
What's up, brother?
before we hop on out of
Um,
here.
but yeah, hit me,
Let's
hit me.
um are you taking Jackson Holiday or Francisco Lindor the rest of the way?
Oh boy. What format? Points or roto? I have a
Roto,
different answer for both.
essentially. Yeah, Roto.
Roto, Lindor, because I
Right,
think
yeah.
Lindor has more power, and Lindor, the shirt's so comfy, it's so soft. I keep rubbing it. And he's gonna steal more bases. Jackson Holiday in a points league by a mile. I don't have anything to back this up, so take it how you want.
Yeah,
I think Jackson Holiday might be a top 5 second baseman for the rest of the year.
yeah. He still has the shortstop
Slow, especially
eligibility
in a
on
points league.
ESPN.
Oh, there we go. So just middle infield in general. That makes him even better.
Yeah,
So there's so much upside there. I think if he goes 15-20, he's going to hit 32 doubles this year and bat 280. There's not a lot of middle infielders that can do that. Francisco Lindor is
yeah.
one of them. I get that he started slow and it's been rough, but in one of my home leagues, somebody just dropped Jared Jones from Pittsburgh. Why?
Yeah, that's a
Why? Okay, so I'm gonna go
yeah.
put a waiver claim
That's
in for
not
Jared
the
Jones. That's weird.
yeah. That's not the one to drop right now. That's for sure.
Speaking of
And Reek,
valuizers, he wasn't on our list, but
yeah, that's
what's
a
up?
he's insane right now. Reek, he's holding his ground against Graham right now, I'm noticing. I know Graham's kind of an OG, got a good squad, but Reek, he actually took the lead. I'm looking at okay, Reek. There you go.
Oh,
Dennis Graham.
Reek's 2-0 too. Good for him. I am looking at our home league now. I've had the third most points scored against me. What are the chances of that? That's very, very typical. But I'm beating your ass right
Your
now,
dad
so
also your
I got
dad
bragging rights on the
also is
podcast
off
for
to
now.
a
I'm up by 40.
your dad's also off to a wicked start.
You know what's crazy about my dad? So
His team doesn't look that good
he
though.
faded hitting early. Like he went pitching pretty strong.
Yeah.
It doesn't look that good, but he's outscoring everybody by a mile. He's made great waiver wire moves. I'll give him that. Picking up Paxton, Bradford, Manaea, Waka. Those are great moves.
Yeah.
I traded him Aaron Judge, so now he's got Judge and Yordan Alvarez. I didn't look at that when I went to trade him. That's crazy. Marte, Will Smith, Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah.
Like he's solid. Like he's a lot better team than I was expecting. And Devers and Lindor continue to just not do shit for me after the Aaron Judge trade, which sucks. But that's the joys of trading. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes
Oh,
they're
we
very
got
bad.
school. Oh, you got school. Shit. I was like, I'm so used to having
You
Scooble
damn
this year
right
on
I got
my team,
Scooble.
but you got him. I'm just not used to that. I'm like, oh, I got Scooble going right now. No, I do not. Never mind.
Yes, sir. 1 inning pitch, no hit, no earned run, no walk, no strikeouts. Scooble is about to put up
Whatever.
25 points on you, and I'm going to continue to further this league. And Chaz McCormick is not playing today. And injury note off the top of my head, just because I read it earlier, so I remember it. Rafael Devers is supposedly going to be back Saturday. So if you're listening to this on Saturday after we get this up, he's going to be back playing today. He'll be back playing this weekend. So keep that in mind. And again, if you guys are watching this, wherever you may be watching it, if you hit like, subscribe, whatever, that goes such a long way to helping us be able to continue doing these episodes and this podcast. And I mean, I'm trying not to banter to the fans, or pander to the audience, whatever. Yeah, it just like, subscribe, all that. That's the one big thing that you guys could do for us that helps us a ton. And go check out the Patreon as well. Subscriber counts, download numbers, all of those are what help us be able to make more money in this and continue to be able to do what we love. So if you guys could do that, please, we will love you forever. And with that being said, we will be back next week for more fake baseball content. Later.